Hola, mi gente. MsMalcolmHughes here with a surprise live. I really just wanted to come on and share something quickly. So I was reading a poem today, and I decided that I wanted to share it with all of you. If, as many of you know, I love reading, love poetry, love books, and the poem that I read today and found quite intriguing, and that many of you would as well, is actually Somebody Blew Up America by Amiri Baraka. Now, this poem is extremely controversial, especially when it first came out. If you want to hear Amiri read the poem himself, you can definitely find that video on YouTube. Just put it in. There's a really nice video with a jazz background, so you can check that out. But as of right now, I wanted to share it with all of you. Please let me know in the comments what you think, how it makes you feel, what does it put you on the mind of, because I would love to talk about it. All right, so here's the video. Well, here's the poem. They say it's some terrorist, some barbaric Arab in Afghanistan. It wasn't our American terrorists. It wasn't the Klan or the skinheads or the them that blows up nigger churches or reincarnates of us on death row. It wasn't Trent Lott or David Duke or Giuliani or Strudler Helms retiring. It wasn't the gonorrhea in costume, the white sheet diseases that have murdered Black people, terrorized reason, insanity, most of humanity as they pleases. They say? Who do the saying? Who is them paying? Who tell the lies? Who in disguise? Who had the slaves? Who got the bucks out of the bucks? Who got fat from plantations? Who genocided Indians, tried to waste the Black nation? Who lived on Wall Street, the first plantation? Who cut your nuts off? Who raped your ma? Who lynched your pa? Who got the tar? Who got the feathers? Who had the match? Who set the fires? Who killed and hired? Who said they God and still be the devil? Who the biggest only? Who the most goodest? Who do Jesus resemble? Who created everything? Who the smartest? Who the greatest? Who the richest? Who say you ugly and they the good lookingest? Who define art? Who defined science? Who made the bombs? And who made the guns? Who bought the slaves? Who sold them? Who called you them names? Who say Dahmer wasn't insane? Who? 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 Who stole Puerto Rico? Who stole the Indies, the Philippines, Manhattan, Australia, the Hebrides? Who forced opium on the Chinese? Who owned them buildings? Who got the money? Who think you funny? Who locked you up? Who owned the papers? Who owned the slave ship? Who run the army? Who the fake president? Who the ruler? Who the banker? Who? 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 Who own the mind? Who twist your mind? Who got bread? Who need peace? Who you think need war? Who own the oil? Who do no toil? Who own the soil? Who is not a nigger? Who is so great ain't nobody bigger? Who own the city? Who own the air? Who own the water? Who own your crib? Who rob and steal and cheat and murder and make lies the truth? Who call you uncouth? Who live in the biggest house? Who do the biggest crime? Who go on vacation anytime? Who killed the most niggers? Who killed the most Jews? Who killed the most Italians? Who killed the most Irish? Who killed the most Africans? Who killed the most Japanese? Who killed the most Latinos? Who? 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 Who owned the ocean? Who owned the airplanes? Who owned the malls? Who owned television? Who owned radio? Who own what ain't even known to be owned? Who own the owners that ain't the real owners? Who own the suburbs? Who suck the cities? Who make the laws? Who made Bush president? Who believe in the Confederate flag need to be flying? Who talk about democracy and be lying? Who beast in Revelations? Who 666? Who know who decide Jesus get crucified? Who the devil on the real side? Who got rich from American genocide? Who the biggest terrorist? Who changed the Bible? Who killed the most people? Who do the most evil? Who don't worry about survival? Who have the colonies? Who stole the most land? Who rule the world? Who say they good but only do evil? Who the biggest executioner? Who? 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 Who own the oil? Who want more oil? Who told you what you think that later you found out a lie? Who? 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 Who found Bin Laden? Maybe they Satan. Who paid the CIA? Who knew the bomb was going to blow? Who know why the terrorists learned to fly in Florida, San Diego? Who know why 5 Israelis was filming the explosion and cracking their sides at the notion? Who need fossil fuel when the sun ain't going nowhere? Who make the credit cards? Who get the biggest tax cut? Who walked out of the conference against racism? Who killed Malcolm, Kennedy, and his brothers? Who killed Dr. King? Who would want such a thing? Are they linked to the murder of Lincoln? Who invaded Grenada? Who made money from apartheid? Who keep the Irish a colony? Who overthrow Chile and Nicaragua later? Who killed Dave Sebeco, Chris Hani, the same ones who killed Biko, Cabra, Neruda, Allende, Che Guevara, Sandino? Who killed Kabila, the ones who wasted Lumumba, Mon Lane, Betty Shabazz, Di, Princess Di, Ralph Featherstone, Little Bobby? Who locked up Mandela, Dorubo, Geronimo, Asada, Umia, Garvey, Dashiell Hammett, Alphaeus Hutton? Who killed Huey Newton, Fred Hampton, Medgar Evers, Mikey Smith, Walter Rodney? Was it the ones who tried to poison Fidel? Who tried to keep the Vietnamese oppressed? Who put a price on Lenin's head? Who put the Jews in ovens and who helped them do it? Who said America first and okayed the yellow stars? Who killed Rosa Luxemburg, Liebknecht? Who murdered the Rosenbergs? And all the good people ICE tortured, assassinated, vanished? Who got rich from Algeria, Libya, Haiti, Iran, Iraq, Saudi, Kuwait, Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Jordan, Palestine? Who cut off people's hands in the Congo? Who invented AIDS? Who put the germs in the Indians' blankets? Who thought up the Trail of Tears? Who blew up the Maine and started the Spanish-American War? Who got Sharon back in power? Sharon back in power? Who backed Batista, Hitler, Bilbo, Chiang Kai-shek? Who decided affirmative action had to go? Reconstruction, the New Deal, the New Frontier, the Great Society? Who do Tom S. Clarence work for? Who doo-doo come out of the colon's mouth? Who know what kind of skeezer is a Condoleezza? Who paid Connelly to be a wooden Negro? Who give Genesis Awards to Homo Locus subsidiary? Who overthrow Nkrumah, Bishop? Who poisoned Robeson? Who tried to put Du Bois in jail? Who framed Rap Jamil Alameen? Who framed the Rosenbergs, Garvey, the Scottsboro Boys, the Hollywood 10? Who set the Reichstag on fire? Who knew the World Trade Center was going to get bombed? Who told 4,000 Israeli workers at the Twin Towers to stay home that day? Why did Sharon stay away? Who? Who? Explosion of owl, the newspapers say. The devil-faced CD be seen. Who make money from war? Who make dough from fear and lies? Who want the world like it is? Who want the world to be ruled by imperialism and national oppression and terror violence and hunger and poverty? Who is the ruler of hell? Who is the most powerful? Who you ever know seen God? But everybody's seen the devil. Like an owl exploding in your life, in your brain, in yourself. Like an owl who know the devil. All night, all day if you listen, like an owl exploding in fire. We hear the questions rise in terrible flame like the whistle of a crazy dog. Like the acid vomit of the fire of hell. Who and who and who and who? So that is a poem. I think it's quite interesting. I think that he said a lot. I think that if you listen carefully, you can hear why some people may have had a problem with it or were opposed to it and found issue and flaw. But I am so curious what others think, how others feel, given the distance and the amount of time and where we are now. I am curious if folks still find it to be problematic, if folks think that it's not an issue anymore, if folks think that it's just not a problem at all. I'm so curious. I would love to know anymore if folks think that. Would love to hear. So if you have thoughts, if you are concerned, if you believe that there are things that need to be said. There are things that need to be heard. Definitely let me know. Would love to discuss it. Would love to hear it. This is also my first like live stream this month. Hoping to do more with different content to engage folks. Generally speaking, I'll let y'all know when I'm planning to hop on. This was real impromptu. I just wanted to share the poem. Hopefully you all like it and you enjoy it. As always, I'm MsMalcolmHughes, one who believes that books are sometimes better than people. And until next time, continue to stay safe, be kind to each other, and have the best day of your life on purpose. A double.